One thing is the mitzvah of onah. Onah means to oppression. Now, one of them here, it's written twice. One pasuk Yud Daled, and again in pasuk Yud Zayin. Chapter 25, and we get it in Leviticus. Yud Daled and Yud Zayin. Vayikra. Al tonu ish achav, don't oppress man to his brother, etc. Then it says again in pasuk Zayin, lo tonu ish amiso. Again, don't oppress your neighbor, your other, whatever, your friend, your whatever it is. Vayos malakefah. They want to continue this with them.
One is verbally harassment. The other one is money.
Right.
Monetary.
So the first one is money. Meaning, let's say for example, you go to the store, right? And in the store you want to buy whatever it is, and you're a what's it called? You're a tourist who doesn't know the difference between one currency and the next, and you come into the store, and of course they can spot you down the block, and they sell you something that's worth about a shekel and a half for I gave you a discount for 87 shekel.
It's good.
No, what happened to Isha? We went to Amsterdam, walking in, like American tourists. So Isha asked like how much this costs, and the guy kept like, he doesn't like, no, come back. How much money you have? And Isha turns around and goes, he goes, it doesn't matter to you. He's like, what did you say or something? No, he's just like, it went into like his.
He's like, how much money do you have on you?
Like, what do you care?
What do you care, bro? Leave me alone.
Enough. And he walked away. He's
I want done.
He's so mad.
So I said, if you either do it, there's a few ways it could happen. It could happen in the seller ripping off the buyer. It could happen in the buyer ripping off the seller. If it's a store, it's a machlokas, but that's another possibility. And that can happen also in how much it costs, and it can also happen in fake items. In other words, you're selling something that's genuine leather from this company, and it's really like plastic, whatever it is, or from a company that's like not worth anything.
What about
buy for
you? Like, say you're the seller ripping on the buyer, or the buyer ripping on the seller. So say you're taking like a taxi, you're able to negotiate the price like down very, very.
But if you know the price of it, let's say coming in, you want to buy something for 100 shekel, right? And the price is only 50. But listen, they're all selling 300, and you agree and I agree. I do whatever else.
Exactly, you don't do that.
If you both know what the real price is,
you don't know what the real price is. Isn't only you can only not scum. You can't scum somebody if it's like food that you need, but like regular stuff, like they don't need like a TV.
So as long as you agree, right? If it's
no, not even. Let's say you don't know let's say I buy a TV for like $1,000. The guys know I bought it for $1,000. I sell for $2,000. Anything, but not something you don't need a TV to live. That's why. You get what I'm saying?
You want to scum people based on what they don't need.
No, but like necessities is like.
No, that's something else. Question, right? Certain necessities are
when I
controlled.
thought about this, everyone was like, yeah, you can. So every time I did it like to the max, I could charge somebody, but then they're like, no, it's only like what they need.
Well, right.
If
it's basic needs, then you have to give. You can't. There's limit how much you can raise price, how much money you can make off. We had this thing where there's limit how much money you can make off basic needs. What?
Where the wine barrels.
Right. So there's limit how much money you can make off basic needs. But if it's beyond that, now if I know the price and you know the price,
you don't need everything.
Right? If we both know the price, and then that's what I want. It's my stuff. Okay, you come to me, you want to buy my phone, so I'll sell it to you for $5,000. So you're like, hey, create $5,000. It's $100. So that's the sale. If you want to take it, so if you agree, so you agree. As long as you both agree. But if you think that the going rate is 500 and really the going rate is 20. And I know that you don't know it, and that's a problem.
But let's say it's not a necessity. Does
it make a difference? No, if it's not a necessity?
Yeah, it's the TV we're talking about.
Again, then for sure. Then even if you know the price, you're allowed to do it. You don't know the price, then you can't.
Not necessity.
It's not
Are you
necessity.
trying to find I entered to scum
Let's say the phone, right?
So someone's selling a house, you want to like.
I want to sell my house for $5 million. It's worth $1 million. It's my business. You don't want to buy it, don't buy it.
Exactly. So
if you agree, it's fine. But if I make it, if I know you know the price, I'm not sure I have to trick you, Dafka. But if I know that you don't price, and I give you a number that's beyond.
Let's say you got a good deal, but it's worth more in the street value.
No, it goes by what the value in the market is.
Oh, okay.
How much money you make for that? If I happen to know someone who gets me stuff really, really cheap, but I'm selling it competitive with other people, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Okay, the problem comes in when you don't know the real value, buyer or seller, whatever, or the item, like you can't tell what's legitimate, what's not, and I tell you it's a fancy company, and really it's not, and you don't know the difference. So the problem comes in when that's the problem, and I'm giving it to you as if it's something.
What about taxis? You know how they have those books that like that's the going price of like when you want to get to this like places. So if that's a going price and you are able to convince him, like you talk to him where you can get it down like pretty.
Both agree, it's fine.
I'm saying so as long as you agree on that type of stuff, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do it a case. This is a side point. Taxi. We do a case. There was a guy going to some far place like in the north, and it was like he had to get to a certain place. He had to go back and forth in one day. So he hired a cab for I don't know. Let's say it was 800 shekel. Right? Go all the way up and come back again. Fine. So they go in and they start leaving the city. And on the way, the guy starts losing. So wait, what do you want up there? So the guy says a certain store we need to get to today. The cab driver happens to know. Randomly heard last week the store's closed. They closed the bed out of business.
Ooh.
And he's driving his car. The guy's next to him. The guy's clueless.
Stealing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Am I mechuyev to tell?
Wasting his time and
I'm not
money.
wasting. I happen to know. I mean, I'm not causing it. He's doing
Yeah,
it.
but you have to tell if you know.
I'm mechuyev to give information that you. I'm not. If he would have asked
Putting a
me,
stumbling block for
Yeah,
a blind
if he asked me, I got to tell him.
What's
But am I mechuyev to offer information that'll help you out?
Yeah,
It's the neighbor.
What's the neighbor? I'm not.
You know a piece of information that he doesn't know. That if you tell him, it would. Okay.
Be mask. I'm
So
not
what?
giving you wrong information. I'm not saying
It's
anything.
like if a blind guy's walking down the street and then there's a rope in front of him and you're like, I don't have to tell them.
Is that true? Are you over if I leave it over alone? You're not a nasty person.
That's like
Are you
Lieber,
over?
literally.
Yeah, that's what does he ask?
I mean, I'm not a good person, masking, but am I mechuyev to?
Of course
I
you
don't think
That's it,
it's complete,
that's
so I
it.
just
That's
feel like it's not. I
basically-
feel like it's one of those things where rabbis would come in and say like, this is
That's
not
not
like it's not the Jewish thing to do.
Okay, I don't know. It's a child that I heard once.
What?
I don't know.
Well, they did possibly anything. Or you just heard
I'll give you, I don't know. I'll give you another case. This is more as is common. Let's say like a thing like a cab. Again, you have tourists, right? I told you I once had this case where I got on the airport and I was coming in to Beit Shemesh, and like you're coming in, you're like jet lagged and the kids, and you're like not with it. You know what I mean? So the guy, after everything's already packed in, and then we're driving. So the guy gives me. I don't know why I didn't do it before. I don't know. But then the guy gives me a price. The price was too high at Beit Shemesh. So I was like, no, I don't want, whatever. So he said to me, you don't want it, so you can get out. So what do you mean get out? We just spent, I don't know how much time getting all this stuff into the car. I was like, pull this out of the road, get out of the car. Like, what are you doing in a case like that? They told me, nowadays there's a lot of traffic now, whatever. I'm like, traffic this time of day. I was like, but I'm out of it. I was like out of a jet lag. And then as we're driving, he's like, do you have an address of where you're going? How long have you been here since? So was the last time you were here? And I hopped. That he thought I was a tourist. He thought I had no clue. And I was like, no, I was here 3 weeks ago. Where am I going? Yeah, I know where I'm going. I live there. I'm like, I didn't hop until in the middle of the ride. I'm like, the guy thinks I'm a tourist. That's the shot.
What about when you?
And there was no traffic. So what do you do in a case like that when the guy ripped you off regarding the car?
That's why I speak to them far as cab drivers. And like, well, you guys about to kill me.
You work out there. So I got to do as follows. Now you're allowed to do. So now you're talking about a case where that's the price. Now, if you happen to know it's not the going rate, it's a little bit different here because there. Actually, maybe not. If let's say you get into the car, you think you have no clue how much it gets to get to Yerushalayim from the airport. So the guy sells you 500 shekel. You have no idea how much in dollars. You have no clue. So you agree. You think it's honest, right? Let's say you find that halfway it's not true. So it's not. He didn't answer. But I'm in the car. So I'm stuck. When we get out of the car, you're like, oh, you don't like it? That's fine. I'll drop you off.
First you call him
Highway?
out on it.
What?
It's the first you call him out on it, and then you tell him I'm not paying you that money.
So they're gonna pull you over.
He pulls over
I
and
mean,
he's
you
like, I'm halfway
obviously,
there.
you
I'm
obviously
gonna
tell
follow
him once
the
you
money.
get to your place. Like,
Huh?
you obviously tell him when you get to like a very
So
like.
the question is, could you say, okay, I'll give you 500, and when you get there, pay him 200?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's really.
That's what I'm about.
Yeah, they just run out of the song, man.
Just lie back.
Because you didn't know any better, now you're supposed to suffer because you tried to review all.
Once they open the playing field to lie,
Exactly, that's what I'm
just lie
saying.
back.
That doesn't sound like I get you right.
It's my new spider.
What's the thing when it comes in?
I want you to run out of a cab
We're gonna fight. Is that what we're doing now?
Oh, right.
Nice, the car, it should be okay.
Is that what we're doing now?
It should be that you're allowed to do such a thing. But I don't, how
You
long
have to, but the question is, at what point do you have to tell?
Marriage.
Like, do you have to tell once you
Just
realize, or once you get to like a...
Well, if you tell him I'm not paying, he'll pull over.
Right,
You say, no, I'll pay 200. He's like, what do you mean? We agreed on 500. You say, I didn't know, but I don't know, whatever it is. Again, it has to be a case where you actually didn't know you, or because he might think that you agree. If you agree, you agree. It has to be clear that you have no clue. Or he only names you a price when you're already in the highway.
What about?
So if I tell you, look, I don't want to pay that, so I'll say, fine, so get out. I'll pull over. I'll leave you with your luggage on the side of the highway. You do what you want. I heard another story of a guy he went from Ben Gurion to somewhere in that area, I think one of those places there, and the cab driver, also I forgot exactly what it was, he wanted like a lot of money for it. So the tourist said, I don't know, $100 or whatever. The tourist said something like, he got out, he said, so he starts looking, oh no, so he wanted $30 for it. He wanted $30 for it. That's the $30. So he gets he takes his luggage out, and he's like, okay, he's looking, and he's like, he starts looking around. And the cab like, what's the matter? He said, I had a $100 bill, I can't find it. So he turns on a light, the guy's looking in the seat. He said, I'm going to go upstairs and get a flashlight. Well, a flashlight, but I'm sure I'll be able to find it. So he goes upstairs, get a flashlight. Comes down 5 minutes later.
Oh, the taxi took the stuff?
No, it's stuff. He took the stuff out.
No, the guy booked.
The guy's like, I'll find it. So the guy took off. He figured he'll get somewhere. Oh, look at this. I'll find $100. That's what happened.
There was no $100 in there.
There was no $100.
There's no $100 where.
I think it was a fake.
Oh, the guy did
Who's outwitting who? Who's more of the liar? What's gone out of this is the.
He's like, he's gone. Sweet.
That's what happened. The guy came down and he looked and she wasn't there. Took stuff and went to the house. Free ride. And this guy is probably still looking for the 100.
Later that night, he comes back to the house. Hey, where's
Are you allowed to do
that?
that? Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know
He
who's
didn't do anything. He didn't
do anything.
I mean, he did kind of
the cab driver thinking he's got 100 in this thing. For sure did it, sir. He thought he could rip the other guy off. The other guy, all he said was, I'm going to get a flashlight. And the emissaries had a cab driver, he probably would have given him an amount of money. I'm assuming that had he come down, the guy would have been there still. He would have, but he faked it. Can't find this $100.
Everybody in the country wants American money.
So I don't know what is he allowed to do what? Is he allowed to say, like, what did the guy do wrong?
What about when you landed in New
Where
York?
was I at then?
He doesn't have to call.
You're going to Muncie and the guy didn't know where to go. And they gave him like a certain amount of money. Let's
No,
say.
the guy paid for it. I didn't pay for it. That they paid
Right,
for it.
the airline people. But let's say he didn't know where it was.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been more than what they paid for.
Bad wig. Oh, bad wig.
Did they always end up with the Bellagio for some reason?
That's the Isser. That's the Isser of Losonu. Losonu, the Isser is oppression, which means ripping people off. As a buyer or seller, either ripping people off as far as the amounts, or ripping people off as far as the quality of what you think it is, and it's really not. You sell something with, as if it's a certain name brand or a certain quality of certain whatever it is, and it's not the case at all. It's really a piece of plastic, polyester. That's an Isser Deraisa.
$400 pound.
Right. Now, there's another Isser of Yud Zayin, Losonu Ishusam Yiso, refers to oppressing with words, Anas Dvarim. In other words, you have a guy who, it can come in a number of ways. It can come in a way of an insult, a hurtful line, a comment, a whatever. It can come in a way, basically anything to make a person feel bad. It can come in a way of messing him over. Like, for example, the guy stops for directions. Happens to be around the corner, right? But you figure, let's have some fun with this guy. Go till the end, make a right. When you get to the round of the kikar, go around it 4 times, make a left. You know what I'm saying? So the guy's driving around, the whole thing is a joke. You're cracking up, you're around the corner.
Or you could be like Israelis.
It's an
Yes,
Isser
sure,
Deraisa.
yes, sure. No, that's the only direction they know.
So it's an Isser Deraisa to do that. Giving bad advice. Or messing in, it's an Isser Deraisa. Now, this type of thing, which is unfortunately could be pretty common, not as far as pranks, but as far
Rabbi,
as...
the Israeli in the airport, the exchange rate is stealing. They steal your money.
So you don't have to go there.
What do you mean? How else would you take the Sheru?
Yeah.
You need to change money, you need to
If I'm in a place where you have no access to other things, so I can charge what I want. What's the going rate here? There's nobody else here.
Over here, it's
Monopoly. The truth, that's the problem with Monopoly, that I control the area and then I can decide whatever I want to do and no say that. Is it or not? If that's the going rate? If it's because it's not accessible anywhere else, what's the I don't know. Ona is based on what the rate is. There's no rate.
Right now, you have a monopoly, so instead of the rate being $3.50, the rate.
So Gemara talks about cases. Mishnah talks about cases
There's
where
an official exchange
where
rate,
the-
and then they just they can put it up.
No, if you get gypped in there.
That's what I'm saying. There is what it
There's $3.50, right? Let's say that's the rate. You would get like three, like.
Right, I know.
they give you a worse rate or they charge you something.
They charge you some extra.
If there's a charge,
No, they show you the rate, and then they charge you whatever they need, whatever.
Right,
it is.
Why don't you charge you? What's the point?
Because they need to make commission.
that I can do
How does
that.
everybody else do? Any other
What do you mean?
exchange?
Everyone else, everyone charges a certain percentage that they need
I
to
know,
make
but
money.
why are they charging more?
Some people are different.
Look, man, some companies charge
Specifically in the
exchange
airport,
rates.
Specifically in the airport, you get
Because
You get
the
the
airport
best
they
rates.
know,
They're
the airport
so
they
high.
know that everyone comes out with, and they don't have the change, so they know they can get them right
No,
there.
so I think
That's
what's
called
right,
monopoly. That's
is
what
there,
I'm
right,
saying.
is there
I
a
have
going,
exchange rate.
is there a going rate in the airport? I don't know if there's a rate, there's only one guy who has a store, one guy
They
who
know
runs
that
it.
they can get away
No,
with
but
it. That's what I'm saying.
it's
not
one rate
Well,
inside
they
like
pay
the airport, it's like
$20,000
one rate like
for
inside of Israel.
No, but they
Well,
show you the
that's
courtesy
available
rate, and
here.
then they charge whatever they
Let's
want.
give example, you know, in Yerushalayim, there's a lot of stores here, and I want to buy whatever it is, I want to buy something over here, right? So, I know, as an example, how much is an ice cream over here? 2 shekel, I don't know what, right? Then you go on a trip, and on the trip, you have this guy sitting out there with the ice cream, it's 10 shekel, it's the same ice cream.
Because you know.
After Yom Liyam,
It's monopoly.
after Yom Liyam, imagine like you little 2 little sons.
So what's you're gonna see where you're ripping people off, because really the rate is 2. Wait a minute, in Jerusalem the rate is 2. But in the middle of the desert, it's 10.
Yeah.
After Yom
So how you
Liyam,
could do that?
after the first day, 2 kids were standing at the end of the hike. Like, where will everyone come in? They can't be like, they're literally like, the age of your like little son too, right? So they open the thing, they're like, you want an ice cream? They're like, nah, you're like, yeah, give ice cream. Fill the box, the shekel box goes 6 shekel. I'm like, I give you 2.
I respect this, but
No, everyone was like, you little conniving, they bought from me.
I don't care. Give me 2.
Give me 2.
Like run back to their house, like
We need more. The kid ran out. He told his little sister to get more from McCullough. They bought more.
Yeah, they're
they
mean.
charged us.
Near me, they also some kids do it.
What happened? What did
They have there's like a park near me, and they have it, and during Guinness Man, all the families come to the parks. And in the park, it's hot. Now the emphasis is if you walk 6 minutes to get to a store, but you have a whole family, and it's a schlep to go. You can't just pop in 6 minutes. So they come and have the whole thing, and there's all there. You know what I'm saying? And it's also, but they buy over there for 1, they sell them for 3 or 4.
Mr. Southgate.
Maybe it's just 6.
Okay, so if there's Mishnah to talk about where the different sellers all got together and they all let's do it together, we'll all raise the prices. So it's the new rate. The new rate is now this. So then there's no limit. As long as they're in cahoots with each other, they can keep going.
little kids.
So the Mishnayos, there's Mishnayos, there's one's with the Gamliel, one with the Ritarfon, there's not Ritarfon, it was with what was it? Shmuel had one of 3 stories. So they talk about, they basically say that or you lower the prices, or I'm going to inform everyone of a certain halacha, which will make you out of business. You know what I mean? There's certain halachas that I'm going to make known. And they either threatened them to lower it, or they actually did something and it got lowered. So it's, if everyone gets together to do it.
Yeah, if store prices are too high, not even things that are just like necessity, but just like store prices are too high, can the postie come and make them lower the prices or make them close? Like that?
So there's this monopoly again. Once all the competitors agree with each other, then you're back to the monopoly because together they're always in the price. There's no competition anymore. So in a case like that, that's what they can do.
Does it make a difference if you sell?
Now again, especially if it's necessities, they for sure can have a. Now this is the government in Israel. I don't know in America, but in Israel, milk and bread.
Yeah,
it's legally. Yeah, it's legal. They can't change it.
Does it make a difference if you're selling to Goyim or not?
That's a good question. So this is like this. Most bin adam chaveros, I would like to say all, but I'm not sure all. Or all of them. See, if it says over here, don't oppress man to his brother, man to his friend, man to his neighbor. They're all to. And all of that, the Gemara always says, he who is with you in Torah mitzvahs. Therefore, a person who is not with in Torah mitzvahs, the mitzvahs of Ibn Chavero, including these things, including Lashon Hara, including all kinds of other stuff, does not apply.
Right, so
now, so 1 second. Now, the thing is, the pshat is not Jew versus non-Jew. It's not the pshat. Because, let's say you have a Jew who's a Russian, forget non-religious, who's shogig. It's not with your Torah mitzvahs because he doesn't know any better. But let's say the guy was a Russian. Right? The guy was a Mezid, whatever it is. So to him, even though he's Jewish, it doesn't apply. Let's say you have a non-Jew who keeps 7 B'nai Noach. Then it does apply. Even though he's not really a Jew, he's not your brother, but he's...
So how are you going to know which non-Jew?
Yeah, mitzvah, no, there's a mitzvah to give him tzedakah, to support him.
How are you going to
How you know? I don't know. I don't know how you know. But I'm saying if you know...
Well, he's a Buddhist, you know,
I don't know how you know, but I'm saying if that's what I'm saying. It's not a question of Dafka Jew versus non-Jew, it's a question of people who do what God wants, basically, or don't. That's what it comes down to. But if you ger toshav, you have mitzvah to take care of him. Give him parnasa, give him tzedakah, you take care of him. You have a Jew who's in Russia, you don't take care of him. Now, shogeg, like you're saying, a non-religious Jew, he's a shogeg. I don't think you're flying anywhere that these mitzvahs don't apply. I think it's a question of mizah.
Matters with, I guess.
Okay, now back to the second thing over here. So oppressing with words, again, insulting, bad advice or insulting. You have to be careful because it could be very common that it doesn't take much to give a line that's hurtful. Especially when the guy's joking around and it's all meant in good taste and fun, whatever else. But the guy gets hurt. The guy gets hurt, it's your favor. And it does not go based on the attacker, on the, what do you call it? The mazik, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. It goes on the victim. So in other words, you have to be a tough person, and you could take this extra joke, good nature, or you're a good natured person, you don't care. This other guy's a very, very sensitive person. So you make a line. So he's insulted. She's like, toughen up. I'm saying, be a man. You know what I mean? Take it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference. He was insulted. You hurt his feelings. You're chayav. Yeah, careful with this type of thing. It's not so pushing.
Can't do this in defense either. Like, as if like someone makes fun of me, can I go back at one?
Oh, so we did this morning. What does the Gemara say? And now love and bin and olvin. What are your 3 levels? Now love and bin and olvin. The person who gets insulted does not insult back. Level 1. Level 2. I hear my disgrace and I don't respond at all. First one, I didn't insult you, but I said something to you. I couldn't hold myself back. Second one, I bite my tongue. Pasha, take it without responding. Third thing is osin mi'ava v'smichin b'yisurim. I took it out of love, and I'm happy when I get suffering. It's already on darga. That's right. But on that, pasuk omer, the pasuk says on them that they will shine like the sun in its might.
Can I do it for like business or something? Like someone makes fun of me.
Business. It's from us.
I don't know. When it comes to being Jewish, we gotta make sure the money stays.
Judaism stays in the synagogue, and life is life. What does God have to do with my business? You know what I'm saying? Shark infested waters out there. What?
That's the business when it's failing.
Someone makes fun of you.
You can't make money. You make sure he loses it. Whatever. You take care of it. Business. All right. But just don't insult the guy. Okay. Yeah, careful, because a lot of times it happens, and the guy himself, who's the victim of the joke, will laugh also, but he's hurt, and only God knows that. Be very careful with this type of thing. God's going to see what really happened. So you're going to tell me, you're an honest, you're a shogeg, you didn't realize how sensitive he was. You're messing with fire. It's very careful. Who was a famous story of a person who did it l'shem shemaim and got punished? L'shem shemaim. Insulted, hurt people, hurt someone, hurt B's feelings, l'shem shemaim mamish. L'shem shemaim, got punished anyway.
Oh, Rachel and Leah. Or Miriam and the other one.
No, now it's Chana's sister.
The one from baby.
Right, Chana and Penina
was making fun of Chana.
pushed Chana to daven, but Maisa Chana was hurt, and Penina lost all her children from it. It's very bad.
No, because there was still a tinge of like gaiva. So that's the way I learned.
No, I learned it from, where I get it from Chaim Shmulevitz, or from Mechmaliah, I forgot who said this. But the pshat is that you're messing with fire. A person goes in to save a baby's life in the fire. It comes out, saves his life. Where are you the hero? But Maisa got burnt. So you're a hero with good intention, but Maisa got burnt.
What happened to Ailey when he thought she was drunk?
That was not. What was that? What was that? Is that a question of? Is that a problem with Hona?
He thought she was drunk, but she was davening.
Yes, that's Dana Chafschos maybe. These are Torah there.
Did he get punished for it?
I think so, no?
Yeah, did he? That's why I thought that was one of the reasons why he lost his family.
Oh, if they call us family?
Yeah, his sons died. That's what his family died.
Because of that?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Don't remember. It says something else. Maybe that also. I don't know. No, Dana Chafschos. And I think she was insulted by the. I don't know if I come to you and I say, "Why were you up last night watching movies?"
I do that.
What did you do?
I won't look at anybody in particular.
I wanted to watch.
Why were you up movies?
What did
So
you
now,
say?
why were you up last night watching movies?
What?
So now let's say you're a person, you really weren't. So I was on the chafchov. The reason you were up all night is because you were helping someone, I don't know, whatever, some heter, whatever, fine.
Big massive pesa.
Right. So now what happened? But let's say, so I'm done chafchov, but the problem is maybe I insult my accusation, or my whatever, insulted you. Like, why would you think, I can't believe you thought that wrong. It could be insulting. So was she insulted by his suspicion? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Like a very Rickman has someone like one of the top guys in Shiva taking a drug test. He gets offended.
Wow, what's wrong with drugs?
That means you definitely give him a drug test. He's trying to get out of it.
Brown is the one that's taking
I don't see any offense, I can pass the drug test with flying colors.
Like, what
I mean,
method do you use?
does the rabbi have?
No, there's actually a method.
But the thing is, passing is not good, huh?
What I'm really asking is like, does the rabbi have a headsset to do it?
You guys want it on? You can turn it off if you don't want it.
You going off?
I don't need it. It's blowing up me. If you guys need
I don't
it,
need
you
it.
don't. You don't need to turn it off.
I mean, does Rabbi or Shiva have a headsset to judge in order to?
And this is, if they have to deal with it, they have to do something about it. It's always like that. At least to ask.
Yeah.
It's for the sake of tochacha, improvement, whatever it is. You have to. Okay, now I seem to be very, very careful with this. It's mamish a very, very common issue. It happens a lot. And I told you it happened one time with me. You know, sometimes my jokes are in order to insult people. I don't know if you guys have realized or not. Sometimes I'm successful, Baruch Hashem. But I'll tell you, it's about every year, in the beginning of the year, I'm very, very careful. In the beginning of the year, which all of you will see, which next year, unless it goes to Mikdash, but otherwise, whatever. But I'm very, very careful because the guys don't know me, and if I make a line, they're going to think it's serious. So I'm very careful the first day, whatever. No, the first once, until we get a bit of a relationship, and the guys know that I'm just joking. Because one year I was on with someone else, and a bunch of guys were sitting from the previous year, and we're like schmoozing, whatever. And then a new guy sat down. I guess I was teaching something. I don't know. And I asked him why. I made a joke of it being late. I mean, some common line, but he took me totally serious. And he got up and started running, walked off. And I looked at the other guy and I thought I was serious. And I ran after him. I felt terrible. I ran after him. I was just joking. I didn't mean it. I told him come back. I was very. Since then, I'm very. Anybody new? I don't mess with them. Till I know I can be mean and get away with it.
You gotta get into a lot to fake it.
I said, but I think he was like, he said afterward, and I said, I apologize, I didn't mean to do it. He's like, just come late enough to chew me up like that. I was like, I was joking, I felt so bad. I still feel like,
One of those sensitive kids, man. You had to mess with it.
very careful. What?
He's already discussing plans.
You're already plotting. Uh-oh. So what college are you going to be next year? Let's just be very careful with this type of thing, even as a joke, even whatever else. Again, all of us slip sometimes. Be very careful. Not there. You have to realize it's an issa deraisa. It's a lav deraisa. It's not just a question of a nice thing to do, not nice thing to do. It's a lav deraisa. And by the way, you on the receiving end, like I said before, in the Gemara, potential for greatness. It's hard to deal with, but the Emma says, think about it a minute. Chaim says, I think, says that if a person has chashem, let's look. Some of us might not be perfect tzaddikim. Sure. It's funny. Perfect. No, not perfect. So what do you do? So that person sometimes has a din of chas v'shalom yisur on a person, right? So yisur come in the following ways: chas v'shalom, loss of money, not a loss that you're not going to feel, loss that you're going to feel, loss of health that you're going to feel, break a bone, whatever, chas, right? A lot of ways the yisur can come. So imagine if the yisur comes in a way of an insult. It didn't affect you. You're spiritually, you're still learning, do your stuff. You're physically not affected at all. Financially, you're still intact.
Best.
Nothing really happened. Elamai, emotions. Emotion you could maybe control. Nothing really happened. So that they bring the Yisurim, maybe if all the Yisurim you have to get, maybe an insult is one of the better ones, so to speak, to get. None of this it's hard. I saw this brought down, but it's not hard because it does hurt.
Things and it could be a lot worse than
how you respond to it.
Yeah.
It is hurtful. The only interesting is, I'll take what's different in insult and other things, is that ultimately you have control over it. There's a loss of money, I have no control of getting money back. And if I have a loss of health, also I have no control of that. You can't control when to turn on and off the switch for money and for health, right? But for that, lichora, you do. If I choose not to get insulted, however mussar I overcome it, it's up to me.
But then if you are insulted and attack a person,
That's not true, because if you accepted the